When the right people come together at the right moment, when they care almost as much about winning as they do about each other, they can become the best of the best.
Welcome to the best soccer show, the best soccer show in the whole world.
Here we go! It's the best soccer show. Jason Davis, Jared DuBois, live on a Sunday evening, back at it. We took a week off to celebrate the resurrection of Jared's Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. We're back here together.
I just really enjoy eggs.
Wait,
what I really
them?
enjoy is the excuse to have chocolate in my house.
That's
what
it is.
Listen, whoever has to die and come back to life, it's cool. As long as I get a bunch of chocolate in my house.
Are you a Peeps man? Are you?
No,
that's
God,
always the
no.
conversation.
Oh, that's gross, dude.
Yeah,
That's gross. I'm not
a
marshmallow
fan.
guy in general. Like Lucky Charms, can't do it. Can't do Lucky Charms.
Okay.
I'm
See,
not. There's a
the thing
texture
about-
thing. Even s'mores. I don't do s'mores.
Okay, I like s'mores when I have them, which has to be very rarely, otherwise it's too much. But the Lucky Charms is an interesting conversation because Lucky Charms marshmallows and any cereal with marshmallows, they kind of morph into something that is not a marshmallow anymore. They take on a firmness that is no longer marshmallow-like.
If there was a USMNT Charms cereal, what would be the 5 marshmallows? What would be the 5 shapes of the marshmallows for
Interesting.
USMNT marshmallow? USMNT Charms.
A little jersey, right? A little shirt.
It's a little denim jersey.
Well, if you can make it so blue, yeah, I guess it has to be blue, right? In order to
Yeah.
be denim. Okay, so
Yeah.
a little blue jersey.
I would say like a megaphone with blood coming out of it because people just yell and scream until they're about to die.
Gross. Why would you do that? First of all, can you name all of the Lucky Charms from the commercial off the top of your head still, or is that out
Oh,
of your...
okay. Hold on. Do I have to know the colors? Can you know me in colors, man? Can I just say the
'cause
shapes?
That's true. You don't know colors because you're colorblind.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. But he says
There's a
he says
horseshoe.
them.
There's a
He says
rainbow.
them. I
a
wonder if
horseshoe?
anybody, Morgan has no idea what we're talking about, probably, right? Oh, she
She
does. Okay.
she didn't have cereal as a child? It's still out there.
No. I'm not talking about knowing about Lucky Charms. I'm talking about knowing the commercial in which the leprechaun says all the Lucky Charms.
Oh, that.
And then that was like drilled into our head as kids. Like it's like green clovers and purple horseshoes. Like he does it like that, right?
Well,
Something
sweet. I
like
just
that.
got an extra one there. I didn't know the clovers. That's awesome. I got that.
Well, of course they're green.
There's
They're clovers.
rainbows, horseshoes, clovers, and is there something else?
Okay. How R-rated are we being tonight? because Jason is over here getting real wild with it to celebrate a certain goal today. Christian Pulisic scoring the winner for Chelsea.
Oh, this is
in
a
the
good one
breakthrough.
though from Epictetus Casanova, a wand for Weston McKennie. That's a good
For
one.
Weston
a
McKennie.
wand.
That's not bad. The current team, a wand.
How about a lightsaber
okay.
for Jedi?
But then a wand and a
That's the-
lightsaber,
yeah.
in terms of marshmallow form, they're going to look very similar. I don't think you can differentiate between the two of them. Let's see. Wow. Wow, I don't know.
I'm not sure. I
I
feel
have
like
to think
we need at least
about
one
this.
more, but
Well,
I don't know.
a little shoe for Greg Berhalter and the kicks, right?
Oh, it has
That
to be like a
play.
Nike. Yeah, it has to be like a Nike shoe.
Yeah.
A heart.
So this is okay. Is this right? Hearts, stars, horseshoes, clovers, and blue moons, pots of gold, and rainbows, and tasty red balloons. I don't remember half of those. I remember clovers.
Red balloons.
I remember the moons. I do remember the little moon shapes.
Yeah,
I don't know
moons,
why they were there.
but red balloons.
I don't think I remember red balloons. And then rainbows? I don't remember rainbows. I think you guys are eating different cereal. They must you know how weed has gotten so much stronger from when we were kids in high school? I'm saying like,
that's
you've
what I
heard
hear.
You've heard people talk about this, even though I know you're straight edge and you don't do any of that. You've heard about that,
For
though,
life,
right?
baby.
Like the THC levels, and now they've learned how to make it so much stronger. And old heads will be like, "Oh, I can't even smoke this. It makes me too."
What I like is that like old people just get old, and so like they're blaming it on new strains where they just can't hold their crap anymore. You know?
It's probably true. All right, so Christian Pulisic scores the winner today for Chelsea off the bench, and it's always this double-edged sword. Maybe that's one of the shapes. A double-edged sword for Christian Pulisic.
Okay.
He scores the winner. He does something good. They were about to drop points in that game. I mean, look, they
West
should
Ham,
be winning. West Ham's having a great season for them, but Chelsea should win that
West
game.
Ham was on 10 men as well.
Yeah, they lost, a couple minutes before the goal,
Yeah.
right? But, yes, they were down to 10 men. But even though Pulisic scores, and even though he salvages the points, the 3 points at home for Chelsea, the conversation isn't, yay, Pulisic, he's down to get more playing time. The conversation is, should he leave Chelsea? Because Thomas Tuchel went out and after the game said, well, he lost time. He lost his place because of national team duty and because he was traveling so much. And it's like, wait, that gets you knocked down the pecking order.
If that is legit, and that's Stanley Tucci's reasoning for this, then he is at a disadvantage because you think of the other internationals on a team. What there's like 8 Germans or something like that. They have to go 20 miles to play their games.
So I just want to make sure we're clear here. This is Thomas Tuchel, Stanley Tucci being anti-American. Yes, this is anti-American bias, right?
I think he's pro-European.
What's the difference? Thiago
Silva's not going to play with Brazil anymore. He's fine with him.
Well, that's a good point, right? Yeah.
He is the farthest traveling. I'm trying to think whether internationals are on that team. I don't think anyone else really has to go outside of Europe. And actually, I think about it.
I think
Jorginho's not playing for Brazil, so
there probably are some players who represent African nations. I just don't have them off the top of my head. There's got to be a couple.
But even then, I think the time zones are not necessarily changing. If that's one of his criteria, it really, honestly,
it doesn't matter.
It's bullshit rhetoric, dude. It's bullshit rhetoric for a reason to take him out. And here's the thing: his play at Chelsea since coming back from World Cup qualifiers hasn't been stellar. It hasn't.
You ready for something?
A number of other guys haven't been either.
I got something for you. Ready? What's more believable? Stanley Tucci's reasons for why Christian Pulisic is not in his lineup on a regular basis, or Greg Berhalter's reasons for why John Brooks is not in his team anymore?
Which one's more? What was the question again?
Which one do you believe more? Which one do you
believe
more?
I believe Tucci way more. Okay. Tucci's way more because his is legit. It actually happened. Things have actually happened with Christian Pulisic. He has traveled more than everyone else. He has been in more time zones than everyone else. He's put a bunch of minutes on and a bunch of flight time on. Jonathan Brooks, all he's guilty of is maybe not being very interested 6 months ago and playing really well since. That's, as far as I know, that's all he's done wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
But for me, I think we're at the point now where going into next year with the World Cup in the winter, Chris Brooks has got to get minutes. And I don't know what moves are going to happen at Chelsea in this offseason. You got to think Lukaku's not happy there.
But okay, well, there's that, but there's also, can they do business? Can they do business? Do we know if they can do business?
True. Can they sell, or they just can't buy, you think?
It's kind of wild to say, yeah, you can sell and make money if you can't go out and spend. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the difference? I mean, I understand that one's in and one's out.
I bet you they can do 1-for-1 trades.
Player swaps?
I don't know.
There's no way that's lining up. There's no way there.
But in my opinion, I would like to see Christian Pulisic at a club in the Premier League where where he's a top 2 player, kind of like Grealish was before going to Man City.
Okay, so selfishly, as an American soccer fan with the World Cup coming, there's a couple of different lanes for this. One of them is Christian Pulisic is. I mean, I know we've established some other players, and when Weston gets back on the field, we expect him to still be a major part of Juventus and blah, blah, blah. And look, up-and-coming players, if Gio is ever healthy, what damage is he going to do for Dortmund, even with Haaland leaving to Manchester City for $8 billion or whatever it is in terms of his salary? When you think about Christian Pulisic, you can either think of him as the wonder boy who flies the flag for American players, particularly attacking players, or you can think about him as an important part of the U.S. men's national team going into his first World Cup, going into the first World Cup for this group, back after 8 years, and wonder if it's better if he moves down the pecking order in the English Premier League.
He's won the Champions League now, right? He's checked that box. The American's done that now. You know what I'd like to see next? An American that leads a Premier League team. That is the star of a Premier League team.
So I'm trying to think if there's a corollary here. Who's the best example? The chat can definitely do this. Find me someone in the Premier League who that has the position Jared's talking about, where they're not necessarily in a Champions League situation, but they're going to be
I have a name for you. Okay. I have a name for you. Fulham.
No, Fulham. Okay.
Coming up,
he would be the man. I know you're talking about teams.
I'm
asking for a current player who is the profile that you're talking about.
Oh, okay. You're asking for a player. Okay, I thought you were asking for a team. Sorry.
The thing about Fulham coming up is that Fulham is going to have some money. I'm not sure they're going to have, let's pay Christian Pulisic what he's been making at Chelsea money. So if Pulisic goes to, first of all, how does he go to Fulham, right? He's not going to be sold to Fulham. because Chelsea is not going to take the money Fulham has available to buy him. That's
What
not gonna
about
happen.
like a Rafinha at Leeds? That kind of style. I think.
Okay, sure. Again,
Not saying go to Leeds. I'm just you're asking for a
I know.
player.
Well, let's push away the mechanisms on how he gets to this team, because I don't know that that's likely. Like, just because of the numbers. Jamie Vardy's not a good example at this point in his career. Maybe 5 years ago, Jamie Vardy's a good example. So I'm going to go down the list. All right, you tell me where to stop here, or yes or no.
In terms of a team to potentially go to, that's what you're asking, or
yeah,
players?
and this is going to be current Premier League teams. I know Fulham's got promoted already. We're not doing championship clubs coming up. Okay, obviously, so we're going to.
But for the record, the return of Full America would be badass. I'm just saying
it would. It would be. We're going to go past the top 4, right? Or do you want to put Arsenal on this list? Do you want to put Arsenal on this list?
No, they already got Matt Turner. We're good.
Sorry, that's not even the right one. Let me try that. Nope, that's not it either. I can't get my.
No, I mean, I don't think Arsenal's the right spot for him. If you're trying to make this switch to being one of the guys at the team, I don't think Arsenal's the team.
Okay, well he's not going to Tottenham. Not with. Kane. I mean, who knows what happens with Kane? He's probably going to stay. I don't think there's any rumors right now. And then Heung-min Son is the guy there, so you're not dropping him. Not Manchester United, right? I mean, maybe they could use him.
Stay the hell. Every American player should stay away from Manchester United.
I've already seen at least one person suggest West Ham. What do you think about West Ham?
It's London, so that's good. Honestly, like playing for a London team, you're in a lot of derbies, you're in a lot of expectations, even if it's West Ham. I'd be okay with that. With that.
Okay, so you
doesn't have to move.
Okay, so yes to West Ham. Wolves, who's currently in 8th.
I can't have him playing with a Mexican player.
Yes, you can. Stop
I can't.
that.
I can't. I can't have them liking each other. Nope. Again, nope.
God. Okay, Raul Jimenez would finish some Pulisic setups, and then that would make Pulisic look better. I think. Okay. Well, I mean, he's not the player he was before the injury, but I still think he's a good player. Okay, Newcastle, which is funny, by the way, that they are. No, Newcastle.
No, dude. That ownership thing, I know, but that's weird.
Money.
It's a weird setup. Who knows what the makeup of that team's going to be over the next 2 seasons? I think you're trading a unclear situation at Chelsea for an unclear situation at Newcastle.
Okay, I think
if all of a sudden the political affiliations of ownership matter, all of a sudden Newcastle's the next.
No, you take one problematic ownership situation.
That's what I'm saying.
I get that. I don't think Pulisic. I mean, maybe he is political. I don't want to get into that right now. I don't know that that's going to be his concern.
He has to play for a team that has red on their jersey somewhere.
You want him to? You want him to rise above? Is that what you're telling me? You want him to rise above this whole they got the cash to pay
make the Premier League great again.
But they're from Saudi Arabia, or there's some shady stuff happening in the background at Newcastle. St. James's Park is full all the time. They love that club. They revere their players. But
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's fine.
It's also
they're also in the middle of trying to figure out who the hell they are as a new identity. I just don't. That's not something I want to be part of.
Let's move on. That's the top. That's 9. Number 10. Leicester City. Should he be a Fox?
No, I don't think so.
No Foxes?
I think Leicester's got actually kind of like high expectations for itself, and it's in a rebuilding thing. I'm not sure.
You don't like that disconnect? I do think I'm not a fan of Jamie Vardy myself, so he can stay away from Jamie Vardy.
Yeah.
That would be fine for me. I'd be good with that.
I don't need never mind. I'll
okay,
nice.
don't say anything. Brighton, who's the surprise mid-table team here. They don't have any money to pay for Christian Pulisic.
You can't have him in Brighton, I don't think. He needs a bigger spotlight of a city than that.
But the sea, the ocean, the beach vibes and all that stuff in Brighton, come on. Wouldn't that be
okay,
lovely?
I know every Englishman wants to make Christian Pulisic the kind of guy that says dude, but that ain't who he is. He ain't Frankie Haydock as much as the English media want to make him into it.
They're all saying bro these days. All right, Brentford. Should he be a B?
I can't even point Brentford out on a map. No.
Well, that's your failing in the American educational system.
If I had an empty map of England, you could put a dot on Brentford.
No.
Okay. I'm just saying I want a little higher profile than that.
I could probably get fairly close because I'm pretty sure that's in London area squad, but I don't know exactly where. I don't know where the
Throw a
clock
dart,
in London
you'd have more
is.
likelihood.
Okay, I know the clubs that are south, and I know where obviously North London. You got Arsenal and Tottenham. I know you've got Chelsea out there, Fulham out there. Okay, anyway, Southampton.
Sure. Now we're talking. Southampton.
Really?
I think so because Southampton has a really good track record of selling talent down the road too. Like they've met a lot of homegrown talent, a lot of on the cheap, turn them around, sell them high.
Yeah, there's a lot of examples of Southampton selling players to Liverpool in particular.
Don't you always feel like Southampton is maybe like a dice roll away from maybe getting up to 7th or 8th in the Premier League.
Maybe, yeah, I think that's probably. But if they held on to their best players, yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
But
You do need to-
in terms of Pulisic, you probably want him back at the big stage at some point. But we're talking about a World Cup year. Where is he going to go in, play, be a big factor, and be ready for the World Cup and get minutes?
This whole thing is predicated on the fact that you want him to stay in the Premier League and be the man somewhere. There are other options. He could go back to Germany. I'm sure there are clubs who would be happy to have him back in Germany. I mean, it's maybe not the worst thing in the world to go back to Dortmund, as a matter of fact, but I'll leave that for later on.
The injuries, no.
You think that there's something like, is it? Okay, anyway, let's go.
There's something going on in that locker room, dude.
So now we're into the last, like 8 or 9 teams. So Crystal Palace, go pay for Patrick Vieira.
No, I don't think so. I'm going to say no to Crystal Palace.
Selhurst Park is like a wild. That's one of the stadiums I want to go to. Like, I know there's the bigger ones and the bigger clubs, but I want to go to Selhurst Park. Villa, which is a bigger club than they've been.
I like Villa
recently.
I like Villa as a potential landing spot for him.
Okay, I mean, again, Villa's a
Bigger
big
city,
club that's in a bad spot or a worse spot than they should be.
Yeah,
Leeds
I agree with
United
that.
is and obviously, look, Leeds United is going to come up because of Jesse Marsh.
His style doesn't fit with Leeds' style.
To Brendan Aronson, and he's connected to now Georgi Mihalovic is now connected to Leeds United again, or not again for the first time. I don't know. So no Leeds, no to Leeds.
I don't think so. I don't think he's the right player for Leeds.
No, probably not.
No.
Burnley. Now we're into clubs in the relegation zone. So now
I mean, I honestly think of all the teams that are left that you're going to get to, Everton might be the only one I'd say yes to, if they stay up.
If they stay up. All right. So
wouldn't you like to see him be part of bringing that back to life?
Yeah, sure. I know, and there's also some symmetry there, or it lines up with the fact that Timmy Howard and Joe Max Moore and Landon Donovan has stint and everything. I know that.
I'm not so sure you're going to name another team down there that I'd say yes to.
No. Watford and Norwich aren't getting named. They're going down. Well, Norwich is definitely going down. Well, Watford's going down too. It's 7-point gap at this point. They're not.
And I would put Fulham above Everton, to be honest with you.
But again, but Fulham is limited, right? I know
Think of
nice.
the goals that team has scored in the championship this season. And you add someone like Pulisic to that offense as well.
Yeah.
And the week in, week out of developing a chemistry with Anthony Robinson as well. There's something there, dude. Like
That's true. So, but okay, first of all, again, practically speaking, it's not possible for a $60 million player or whatever he was when he moved from Dortmund.
Okay.
No. I'm saying that Chelsea paid a lot of money for him. They're not going to just drop him on somebody's front door and say, "Here, have a Pulisic."
What do you think they can get
It's not
for
going to
him?
happen. 40-ish.
35
probably.
was my number in my head.
35, 40-ish. Yeah, sure.
Can Fulham afford that?
No.
With the rights money?
No, I mean, they're going to get a bunch of money in, but if they spend that much money on one player, they're going right back down.
Okay.
I mean, everybody's worried if this is going to be different than the last time they came up, where they came up, spent a bunch of money, and it was a disaster for them. I don't know. All right, so Christian Pulisic scores a goal today. Everybody's happy, but should he leave Chelsea? That's the talking point, I guess, is what we're dealing with. Now, obviously, look, we need Christian Pulisic to be good and in form when we get to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Because right now we still don't have a clear idea on striker. Ricardo Pepe's not scoring, and he's coming off the bench for Augsburg. We know about that.
Yep.
Jordan Pivak is scoring,
Two
but
goals
I don't
in
think
first half.
everybody has a lot of faith in the guy because of what happened in
It's
Mexico.
unfair. It's unfair,
is.
but
No, it is.
somewhat justified because it's unfair that he gets one doorstep opportunity from Gio Reyna against Mexico, misses horribly, and then we want to write him off again. But that's also them's the breaks, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
When you're scoring a bunch of goals in Switzerland, people are saying that you're doing it against poor competition. Can he do it on bigger stages? Then you miss your shot on a big stage.
What did that famous lyricist Eminem say, Jared? What did he say famously? You only
go with him,
one
Haley?
shot. You only get one shot. Don't miss your chance. He says to flow. Yeah, I think it's probably unfair to Jordan Pivak. Now, there's a new fighter has entered the ring. Haji Wright's getting some love, Mr. Dubois. What do you think about Haji Wright?
What is it, 11 goals? I can't remember what it is right now.
I got to look it up.
Haji Wright. Now, obviously, I'm biased. I'm aware of Haji Wright coming up through the LA Galaxy system. Was very sad when he didn't come and sign with LA, and I think he went through Cosmos. Is that who he went through?
He did sign with the Cosmos briefly. I think he was in was he with Orange County for a hot second?
It was
that?
unfortunate the way that's one of the ones that got away
Cosmos.
for Galaxy.
I'm thinking about somebody else. But our man Nicholas Murray definitely knows this. But yeah, he was a Cosmos player for a little while.
So that was always knew he had talent.
That was his in-run around the rules because they basically was agreed
that he was
going to leave.
It was a weird thing, man, because so he had to go with this really big roundabout way, which I think held back his career, but everyone knew he had the talent all the way back as a U17 player. So kind of out of nowhere, I think he was playing, God, I want to think he was like in some kind of like, I want to say he was like in Sweden or something like that before this. I'm blanking right now, but he's playing in the Turkish Premier League, scoring goals.
He's on loan
worth
there,
the look.
by the way. To clarify this,
From
he's
where?
on loan. He's
Greece?
on loan at Antalyaspor, which is probably not how you get there in Turkish. Somebody can fix that for me. But I'm not even going to try the club he's on loan from because it's a Danish club, and there are O's with slashes through them, Jared. So I'm gonna somehow there's a capital E at the end of the word. Somebody help me with this
baller
one.
shit.
Because it looks amazing. Like I would get it if the jerseys are good.
It's like me having a B, the
these.
capital B in the middle of my name. Like, what's that about?
You're just fake French. That's
big D, little U, big B. I'm all about the dub.
I thought you were going to focus on the big D part, but we just move on. We just
I like a
keep
big
going.
D and a big B.
Okay. Oh my God! No, this is
Never trust a big B and a smile.
Yeah. So Gavin, here's the word. By the way, I didn't want to type it out. He's got it right there.
Okay,
Can you say
you
that?
have to be on the YouTube for that. Sonderyiski?
Oh God! You're so far. I mean, it's a decent try. I'm not even gonna. Okay, so how'd you
Someone
write?
type it phonetically for us. That'd be interesting.
Here's the question. So yeah, he's scoring goals, 11 goals in Turkey on loan from this Danish club, and it's been pointed out that we're not talking about Antalyaspor's not bad, but they're not Fenerbahce, they're not Besiktas, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like he's
But
playing
he's scoring goals against those teams, though, which gives it some clout. Unlike PFOC, where who's he scoring against? Other than Young Boys is the big name.
He's scoring against Grasshopper. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like a team in the Ladybugs for all I know. That sounds like the team name from one of those. You know.
Would you say R.I.P. Jonathan Brandis now? Bringing this down, like damn son.
Never understood his talent. No one ever understood his talent.
Antalyaspor is in 8th place in Turkey at the moment. So Trabzonspor, Fenerbahce, Konyaspor. Besiktas is 7th. I'm gonna stop here. But what I'm saying is, it's not like he's playing for the most talented team in Turkey and he's dumping in goals. Do you think he is a legitimate option? Now, maybe it's just to bring him in for the Nations League and the friendlies. That's what we're talking?
That's what I'm thinking. Here's the thing. Greg Berhalter's in a tough situation. First of all, any striker in the world scoring goals in a top division has to be considered. Not necessarily brought in, considered. But the problem with Greg Berhalter is he only has 6 games before the World Cup to fix this. So you can't just find the guy. You have to integrate the guy, teach him the system, find out if there's chemistry. It's a lot. But it would be a lot if we were talking about a winger, a midfielder, or a defender. He's lucky that he's playing the one position where he doesn't have a lot of competition right now. For me, it's Jesus Ferreira's job to lose for me. But I think that you bring Haji right in and you see how he looks in camp.
Right, but Jesus Ferreira is a dagger when sometimes you need a broadsword, right?
Okay.
And that's I'm glad that we have a Jesus Ferreira doing what he's doing in MLS, and who knows? Maybe
I don't think though. That's the problem.
I don't think he's going anywhere this summer, but he's got the talent to do that. Who knows?
Gerald Dike is a broadsword, but he's blunt edged.
He's broken. They got to put him back together.
Yeah.
That's true. I don't know. And Haji Wright's not exactly. I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. Like, can you just plug him in? And is that position a place where you can kind of get away with it? Because right now the team is so dependent. Now that you need movement, you need certain things.
What I know about Haji Wright from when I watched him back in the day and various times in small spurts over the last few years, the guy's technical. The guy's technical. He can move the ball. He can pass the ball. He can move in space. He does a lot of the things that Ricardo Pepi can do, but he's scoring. I think there's something to be said. He's very similar to Josh Sargent in that way, too. Josh Sargent, what's he do well? Everything except score. He does all the other stuff pretty well. So I think you bring him in and you at least see if he's better than one of those two options.
The thing that doesn't work, the thing about Josh, though, I mean, I think he's a good athlete, but he's not a next level athlete, right? He doesn't. he doesn't have a way to cover up when his touch is lacking or when his form is suffering, his confidence level is down. I think Ricardo Pepi has those tools, but obviously hasn't harnessed them yet.
But here's the thing, and it was just coming up in the chat right there. Brandon Vasquez's name is being put out here in the chat as well. How many of these guys can you bring and still try to see if Pepe's your guy, Ferreira's your guy, or Pifak's your guy?
One or two. Yeah, it's Vasquez or Haji Wright when you face off against Morocco in Cincinnati.
For me, man, this is brutal on Brandon Vasquez, but I'm gonna say Haji Wright. He's doing it at I think a higher level of competition than Brandon Vasquez. I think. And once again, I'm 100% saying I'm biased. I loved Haji Wright as a kid, man. Like the kid was electric as a kid.
By the way, I'm not trying to slight Turkey. I'm just saying we don't know. I'm not saying that Turkey's not better. I don't know.
And I'm 100% saying I'm biased as well. Brandon Vasquez just came on the scene like now. Haji Wright's been around. He's played for U.S. youth national teams as well. It's not like he's an unknown. Brandon Vasquez is kind of like breaking out on the scene, which is really cool.
Did Brandon Vasquez? He might have.
Do you remember being a cornerstone of youth national teams like Haji Wright was, though?
No, he definitely no. Haji Wright was consistently called into youth national teams. That is a fair statement. That is true.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a hard thing. It more comes down to what does Berhalter offense that Berhalter wants to run and how they see these guys contributing to it. And
Vasquez was in the program. He did play for the 17s, the 19s, and the 20s. But
here's the other option. Like, do you bring all the regulars for the friendlies and you bring none of the regular strikers and just guys that you all want to look at for Nations League?
So wait, hold on. You're not calling in Pepe. You're not calling in who else is even there?
Pifak.
Pifak, I guess.
I mean, you could make the case for you're not bringing Jossie Zardes. Dude's getting traded because he's not even good enough for Columbus right now.
Yeah, for a mill in Tam or Gam or what Ham Jam and Flam. What is I don't know what Colorado. Maybe Colorado knows something.
Basically, they traded Kellen Acosta for Jossie Zardes, in terms of money.
Traded so they sent money to L.A. for Mark Anthony Kaye. Then they sent Kellen Acosta back the other way and got the money back.
Wait, didn't they get more money for Acosta than they did for Kaye, though, right?
Probably, but not crazy amount more. Yeah, probably got crazy amount
I mean, Jossie Zardes is out of the conversation right now for me.
Berhalter
may not consider him because he's very, very tied to certain players. And then Josh Sargent, doesn't he have a knock right now, too? I believe Josh Sargent has an injury right now. Morgan, is that right? I apologize. I think so. But I don't know. I think it's a conversation about Pepe, Ferreira, and Pifak, and I don't know if any of them are great.
I'm going to throw another wrinkle in here, and because we do have a comment on it, there's the rumors out there that Atlanta's pushing hard on bringing Matthew Hoppe in. Hoppe's playing time in Spain has dried up completely, and he's not even, he's not even getting on the field. I don't even know if he's dressing every time out. I think minutes matter most to him. I think that and look, he's not really in the picture anyway, right? But we're talking about a position that is so bereft of options. And I know Matthew Hoppe played winger for Greg Berhalter. Sorry, my camera's gone. Played winger for Greg Berhalter in the Gold Cup. Yeah. But if Hoppe arrives in Atlanta and starts scoring in the second half of the MLS season, he's kind of in the mix, right?
Hoppe's in a no-win situation, man. A very hard-to-win situation. Do you stick it out in Europe, and that says something about your ability? But the problem is he's on a clock. He's on a clock. Is he really going to make that difference in Mallorca by October? It can't even be October. It has to be soon. He has to be played this summer to showcase because he's going to sit for 2 months and coming up.
I just want to point this out. This is crazy. And I thought about this a lot with Joe Scally, right? So Joe Scally is this player everybody wants to see in the national team picture. He's obviously done some good things at Mönchengladbach. I mean, you could argue about how much progress he has made and where he needs to improve and all of those things, right? He's versatile. He can play both sides, all this stuff. And it feels like there's this intense pressure, and Joe Scally needs to get into this team. He's got to work his way in. Berhalter's got to give him a chance. He's got to get to the World Cup. Joe Scally's 19. He's freaking 19. Matthew Hoppe is 21.
So is Yunus Musa, and he's playing.
I know, but this is my point, that because so much of the core is as young as it is, there is now this sense that these players have to get in here, and Hoppe's got to make this move away from Europe to come to MLS so he can get minutes, so that he can get into the World Cup. The dude's going to have 2 more shots at it in his career based on his age if he doesn't go to this one. I'm not saying he should just punt on this World Cup.
But don't you want players who do everything they could possibly do to try to make this game to guys that want it that bad?
My point is that the window has shifted so far for U.S. men's national team players. From when we were talking about, oh, God, that guy's 26. He's not getting playing time in Europe. He needs to make a move to Major League Soccer to get into this World Cup team. Now we're talking about 19 and 21-year-olds having to do things necessary to get them in a position to maybe
But
play.
if you're Matthew Hoppe and you're thinking where you were at the Gold Cup, playing for Schalke, your name's out there, you're getting minutes, you're showing fairly well. You make a deadline day move to Mallorca, things go south, and you're watching Jesus Ferreira, a guy in MLS who wasn't really in the sphere at the Gold Cup, and he's making this bid for a starting spot from MLS. It shows that you don't have to be in Europe. Giassi Zardes is getting minutes in MLS. You don't have to be in Europe right now as a striker for the men's national team to make a difference. So I think it's, hey, make a move. Maybe I throw up some goals. Maybe I can showcase myself, because he's not showcasing. And if he's not showcasing in Mallorca, does he really have a European options right now?
Yeah, I don't know.
This might be the best option he has.
Let's bring in somebody else to break this up for us. Let's go to our friend.
Is that JTT?
OMFPG-13, it's JTT!
JTT and Jonathan Brandis getting mentioned on the show. This is a Teen Beat, Tiger Beat, or whatever that magazine was.
Can we get Ralph Macchio in here?
That's older. That's an older generation of guys. Jonathan Tannenwald on the program. What's up, Jonathan?
I know nothing about whatever cultural reference you just made.
God dang it, John.
Look, I would like to see Jordan Peacock play 70 minutes against Malaga. Because if we're looking for a striker who is scoring goals in Europe and is in form and has at least played a little bit with some of these guys before, it would seem to me that Jordan Peacock ticks all the boxes. And I know there are some CONCACAF teams that he doesn't play well against. And my response to that is, fine, let him go play against somebody else and see if this theory that a lot of people have, including me, that the U.S. tactically is going to have talent-wise will not have, but tactically might just. Let's see if it's true.
Okay.
So
70 minutes,
he's not wrong. When's the last time Peacock had a start to impress?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's been quite some time. We do remember that he got sub minutes. Again, you and I talked about it many times. We thought the sub role was probably best for him because he's a change of pace. He's got a lot of energy, but then he got his one shot as a sub and missed
because he's a target. But that's the thing. The team doesn't know how to change approach to adjust to a different kind of forward. Right? I think that's, Ferreira, they do, but he drops in, he takes the game on himself. Whereas a lot of these guys, it's service. Pifok needs service. Pepe needs service. DK, if he plays, needs service. Are we going to be able to get them service if you are, dropping them in the last 15 minutes of a game? So, maybe you do see if Pifok can get it done over 70 minutes. Maybe you do try
Jonathan, though, you heard us talking about it with those fringe players out there. Let's take Pifok out of it. Let's take Pepe out of it, Ferreira out of it. Who's that next tier 2 striker that we're discussing that you'd like to see have a shot in one of these friendlies or Nations League over the summer?
You taking Sargent in or out?
I would say keep Sargent in the conversation.
Then Sargent's right.
Okay. Give a guy another chance, though.
Because the other guy who I'd like to see, if you really need it, and you think he's going to the World Cup, which I think a lot of us do, if you think Jordan Morris is going to the World Cup and you're that stuck at the 9, give him a run at the 9.
Man, I'd almost rather see Tim Weah. I'd almost rather see Tim Weah.
No, I'm a no on that one for sure.
He's got energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It's hard because you don't see him at Seattle play there enough.
He doesn't play there. And I don't want to be shoving square pegs into round holes. I want one of those round pegs to figure it out. I think you keep trying with that, even if you go back to the well.
Been trying for 2 years.
I know. And here, look, Berman said, time to move on from players onto players who haven't had their shot for the national team and failed. And he's putting, I'm assuming, Sargent in that group, and he's putting Pifok in that group. But
I want to counter that.
Okay.
How are you going to build chemistry if you toss guys every game?
Yep.
I mean, that's
a good question.
That's an issue. Look, if you had a month, even if you had a month of training ahead of the World Cup, I might be okay with bringing in somebody completely new and dumping some of these other options. I still think you need to take a crack at a Haji Wright or, give an opportunity to somebody who hasn't been in the mix yet. I think there's at least one or two. Maybe Brandon Vasquez is the guy. I don't know. I mean, it was Brian White last year. Now it's Brandon Vasquez. But you don't have that. In fact, I was literally just reading today, how close we're going to be to the World Cup when these leagues break up. La Liga's schedule puts them within a week of the World Cup opener.
Yeah.
Now, I don't, that's only Musa for us, and I guess Hoppy if he's still there. I don't know, Des too. So now we have an issue with a bunch of different players who aren't going to be able to show up to national team camp until a week before the first. I understand that. It means ugly World Cup is coming. Everybody be ready for that. It's going to be gross. But I mean, whether it's everybody's lot or not, you don't have time to even train up a guy within a consistent camp for 3 weeks before the tournament starts.
But then that, to me, still, look, I'm not saying it's ideal. There is no ideal at this point in a lot of ways. But it sure seems to me that a guy who has had some reps and a little success, and if you keep tossing guys every game after one game or one half or whatever, you're going to end up with nothing.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, John. I think it's hard because you may see a solution to your problem, a shiny, bright object on the horizon in a Haji Wright or a Brendan Vasquez or something like that. But I think Berhalter is at the point where it's dance with the girls that brought you. The time to break new talent is after the World Cup.
The thing about the position, I mean, look, maybe it's just because this is the way it worked. And certainly we saw Pepe score some goals. And I still think, even though he hasn't scored in Germany yet, I still think Pepe is probably going to be there behind Ferreira as an option. You're taking him to the World Cup. You hope he finds his scoring boots again. But if you think about this way, the way the team is qualified and the way the team is played, and I know this is also an argument for how Berhalter screwed it up because they didn't reach their full potential. They didn't win CONCACAF qualifying. But, you've got wingers who are dangerous. You got an inside-out player like Pulisic. You've got McKennie when he's healthy who arrives late and adds another scoring option. You're not as dependent on the 9 scoring goals necessarily.
Before we let Jonathan out of here, let's get a yes/no. We're all three of us real quick. All three of us, yes or no. Will there be a World Cup roster forward, striker, center forward, I should say, that does not have a qualifying start this campaign?
Will there be a player in the team who does not have a qualifying start and who plays the center forward position? Yes.
Start or appearance?
I would say start because appearance, I think, let's Hoppy in there. I think he has an appearance but not a start.
In qualifying?
Didn't he go over the first windows?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't think Matthew Hoppy played a minute.
I'm intentionally stalling you for as long as I can.
Okay. Then I'll go first. I'm going to say... No.
Yes.
I think we've seen the guys that are going. I think we've seen the guys. I think Greg's done. I think he's done, dude. I think it's all about chemistry now. It's not about new blood. What do you think, John?
Okay.
Jason, go second because I'm still stalling.
Oh, I said yes.
John, I literally, all you had to do was a yes or no. I didn't ask you for a dissertation.
I'm looking something up. That's why.
My man, I love the goalkeeper. He always has to come with the facts. That's a good journalism man right there. Always got to have his facts fleshed out first.
Yeah.
Josh, okay. Then I'm probably, as somebody who did not start a qualifier, I'm probably going to say no, because I think Josh Sargent started the opener.
Oh, that could be. I think that's correct.
Did he start the game? So you're talking about the El Salvador game? Josh Sargent started that game?
He started at El Salvador, and Peacock, I think, started one early. So I'm going to go with no.
Peacock have a start?
He might have.
Did he? Maybe against Canada? Who started against Canada?
It wasn't Pepe yet. It wasn't Pepe yet. The Pepe show was the one at the game after Canada.
And you think about the journey.
That's why Pepe went out.
Okay. All right, John.
We're all three on the record.
Thank you for finally getting in there, JTT. Thank you very much for calling us up. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, fellas. Be well.
Is that JTT?
OMFPG-13, it's JTT!
I'm just looking at this before we get to Frank, who's calling us up from the OC. This is the team that started against El Salvador, Jared. You ready for this? Just because it's the journey. That very first qualifier way back on September.
I wonder how many.
2nd.
You want to see how many I can get?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's play roster far.
Oh, I think Nick wants in. I think Nick wants in.
Nick
You want
wants
in,
to
Nicky?
come in.
Nicky soup and starters. He can't let himself on. He can't let himself on.
No,
there he is. Oh, there. Now he's on. Now he's on.
I think I screwed up the board. So
Do you want in on this, Nicky? You want in on this?
Of course.
All right.
I might have
let's
messed
see
up
here.
the board. I
Go
gotta
back and
restart the
forth.
board.
You and I back and forth. All right. Who's going
it.
first? You got it in front of you, Jay?
I do have the team in front of you. I was trying to get the board to work because I can't do the dings and everything. So go. The board's broken, but go ahead.
You want first or second, Nicky? I'll defer to you.
I'll go second.
Okay. John Anthony Brooks.
John Brooks did not start in that game.
What? I already lost? All right, let's see who can get more then.
It's over already on the first
I thought
poll.
for sure he started the first game.
No, he didn't start that game.
I guess he was.
did not.
Man, he must have been really evaluating the second game of that window then.
I think he was priming that team for the second game of the window. Yeah.
Why
the
were we
home
cocky
game.
about 3 points if we weren't starting John Brooks in the first game? Okay, go ahead, Nick.
So I can win it on this try?
You can win it on this one.
No, we'll go who get more.
It's his show. Nick, it's his show.
You
He can change the rules anytime he
let's
wants.
do
I'm
it.
back on
Coin
boy on
flip.
that.
It's a coin flip, but I'm going to go Matt Turner.
Matt Turner did start and goal in that game.
Yeah, I
Yes.
should have gone goalie first. That was stupid. Okay, well, I guess I should have gone because JTT told me Josh Sargent was in that game.
Josh Sargent did start that game. Yes, you should have gone with Joshua Sargent. He started that match.
Nikki?
Okay. This was El Salvador.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
Yeah, Brooks was on COVID protocol. I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah,
I'm
which is
gonna
a
say-
weird thing to have to remember. That guy couldn't play because he tested positive for the
Shout
virus
out
that's
to
been ravaging the
Tamale
world
Killer.
for
Can
2
we
weeks.
put that up? Okay.
I'll go Brendan Aronson.
Brendan Aronson started that game in the midfield.
Oh,
in the midfield.
Okay, then I'm going Christian Pulisic.
I
Wrong again?
I don't think he played.
He did
I think
not.
he was hurt.
He did not play in that game.
He was hurt in that game?
He must have been
That's
hurt.
why I went
'cause he
Aronson
wasn't-
and not Pulisic.
He was not in that team.
Was he on the roster?
No. He didn't dress, so I'm assuming he wasn't on the roster because he
Dang,
didn't
I
dress.
knew another one for sure, too, and I just went with him instead because I remember something happened to a guy in that game.
All right, so Nick, it's back to you then.
And we're going starters, right? Not
Starters.
appearances.
Starters.
Okay,
Starters. There are 11 of them. I don't know if you know how soccer works, but there are
know.
11. 11. Okay, I can't do it that way. Go ahead.
I will say
You guys are in your head so much. You're so
No,
in
I
your
know
head.
one. Dang it.
let's go with I'll go Walker.
Walker Zimmerman did not start that game.
No, I got one. Gio Reyna because he got hurt in that game. I remember.
Gio
now.
Reyna got
Gio
hurt.
Reyna
That's
was
the
in
game that Gio Reyna played before he came back. Yes.
So we still got the left wing position to get, and I remember who that was now. Because that was a hard one. That would be a hard one to remember. But I remember now.
Okay.
But it's not my turn.
My turn, right?
Yeah.
Let's go Jedi.
Jedi Robinson did not start that game.
Dang.
Did not start that game.
Conrad de la Fuente, I remember now, started that game because no Christian Pulisic.
Conrad de la Fuente did start that game. And speaking of guys with a start in qualifying who may not be on the World Cup roster, Conrad is a prime choice for that. He's not going to be in that team based on what we know about him right now.
All right.
We could say that about Diodin, too, right?
Potentially.
Maybe.
Depends if Scally
Maybe.
actually makes a move for it or not.
It depends. Well, I mean, where Reggie is and where Dest is and then what your left back options are.
Yeah, I'm going to
It's your
say
turn.
Dest.
What, you didn't remember Serginho Dest until I mentioned his name?
Well, I was going to say Dest
Uh-huh.
because
Okay.
I didn't get Jedi.
Right. It was Serginho
Oh.
Dest at left back, yes.
No.
I don't
All
know
right,
what the score is.
I'm going to go with Tyler Adams.
Tyler Adams started that game, yes. Did somebody keeping score? I have no idea. You guys
I'm
got
not
to keep
keeping
your own
score.
score. This is like a basketball, pick a
Well,
basketball
I've
game.
missed
You
two
have
and
to
he's
keep-
missed one, so I know for a fact
I
he's
missed
winning.
2.
Oh, you missed two? Okay.
Yep.
All right, so it's Nick, back to Nick again?
All right.
I got it back. Felt so naked without it.
Didn't. I'll say Eunice.
Yunus Musa did not start that game.
Dang.
All right, I'm going to go with Weston McKinney.
Weston McKennie did start that game, yes. That's the midfield, by the way. Aronson, Adams, and McKennie. That was the midfield.
Okay.
So it was MMA, but a different
Taking
second
the
A.
lead.
I don't know how many spots we got left.
We've got both center backs, and we've got the right back. Sorry.
Don't help
bad.
him.
Okay.
He doesn't remember how many players there are. He's not
It's
going to know
better
the names
for
of the
the movement of
positions.
the bit.
The movement of the bit would be improved by Nick
Us
having
knowing the answers.
I'm going to say Miles Robinson.
Miles Robinson did start that game. Yes,
I'm going to go with. I remember being really pissy before the game at the starting lineup,
That's so unusual.
and I want to say that one of the reasons I was pissy. Did Tim Ream start that game?
Tim Ream started
I
that
was gonna go
game
there.
next to Miles
I
Robinson.
thought he had one
did.
start early in the window and didn't come back
did.
again for any other windows.
So that's okay. So I think we have
Right back?
I
Right
think we
back.
have one spot left. Yep, that's the one spot.
Oof.
I think I know this one. I think I know it.
I'm gonna just put in drops while he thinks because he's thinking a lot. Here we go.
It was there. Oh, here we go, saucing them up. Hit him, hit him.
Don't think it was DeAndre.
He's trying to tell you his way.
Right back.
Oh, God dang it, Dick. Just say a name.
All
say
right.
name.
I don't think
Just
it's
say name.
accurate, but I'll say Reggie Cannon.
Reggie Cannon did not start that game. DeAndre Yedlin started that game. DeAndre
Didn't let me-
Yedlin started that game.
I was going to say
You would
Shaq
have
Moore would
won.
be
It's
wrong.
over. It's good. The
Okay.
bit's over. The bit's over. We killed the bit.
Good game, Nick. I think both
Yeah,
of us
that
showed
was
really well.
Yeah, we did.
The only winner in that is Jason.
Go clean out your pants, boys, because I think you just shit yourself on the show.
I love that you didn't have to put yourself out there.
I know.
Which ones would you have gotten wrong? Would you have got Pulisic wrong?
That's a
And
good
Brooks?
question.
You would have got Brooks wrong because you
I-
needed to remember he's had COVID protocol either.
I would not have remembered Conrad had started that game. I don't think I would have
Yeah, I don't
remembered
think I
that.
would have.
I think Gio I would have remembered because he got hurt.
I
And
would have
that
got
was
that,
the thing
yeah.
that tied me to that. I'm not even sure I would have remembered that Turner started that game. I don't know if I remembered that. I would have guessed Dest. I would have guessed Tyler. I would have guessed McKennie. I remembered that Aronson started in the midfield because we talked about that a little bit since then. That's probably it. Sargent, I think I would have whiffed on Sargent. I don't know who I would have said because I know
with 50 minutes left of the show, do you want to talk about the thing that was actually on our thumbnail for what we were going to talk about this episode?
Well, yeah, maybe, but can we talk about something else before that? That was
What?
something else.
Go for it.
Should we? Are we panicking? Is this a?
We are at DEFCON 1.
I know he's 17. I know he's only 17, right? I understand that. Look, it's really early to be freaking out about a goalkeeper, but he seems to be that talented, and we ain't got a goalkeeper. We got broken down dude, gives up goals off of stupid attempts to play out of the back. We got nothing. We got guys getting relegated to the bench again at Nottingham Forest.
Stefan is more casual than a wife beater and flip flops at a dinner. Like he's so casual.
I think we've updated the language on that one particular clothing item, but sure. Yeah,
Why?
go ahead.
I
throw
think
it out there.
a-holes still wear it. Like we need to call them out.
I didn't say they don't. Yes, Zach Stefan is as casual with the ball at the back as my dad is with his bottle opening flip flops. He showed me when I was on vacation.
Yes.
Yeah. Salt Life and Jimmy Buffett stickers all over his stuff.
Truck nuts.
So should we freak out over the fact that Gaga Slonina is flirting real hard with Poland right now?
A little bit, but also
Little
we
bit?
need to recognize that if you're Gaga Solina and you've got 6 months to the World Cup and you are in contention for the number 3 spot and potentially going to the World Cup, you're going to flirt as hard as you can with Poland because it forces Greg Berhalter to
Man,
think
you think
about
he's
you more.
playing games? You think he's leveraging
Why
his
wouldn't he?
Polish interest?
Why wouldn't he?
I think that as a kid at that age and doing what he's doing, and it's absolutely fine to keep your
I think Berhalter's
options
done nothing
open.
wrong, by the way. I think he's brought him along just fine on the national team. Brought him into camps. He's given him a lot of exposure.
It's not.
But the path isn't there right now for him to be a starter or anything anytime soon.
Yeah, maybe, except that there's a wasteland of goalkeepers, so he might have it in his head. Hey, why not me?
Okay, if
Why
Matt
not pull
Turner's
up
okay,
Pele?
there's not a wasteland of. Matt Turner is not a bad goalkeeper. Okay, he's just got a bit of an injury right now. As soon as that's fixed, do you not think he's still a goal? Unlike Stefan, who has flaws in his game, that are holding him back. I think we've started this whole conversation about we don't have a goalkeeper, forgetting that we do. He's just got a bit of a knock right now. Matt Turner is a starting goalkeeper.
Yeah, but he's gonna go sit on the bench behind Ramsdale. That's not good either. Like we're okay with that.
So how does he win then? He stays in MLS, and people say, "Oh, you got to get to Europe." He makes a great European move to a top 4 team in the Premier League, but he's the backup. How does this guy win?
No. You're right that Matt Turner is the starter if he's healthy, and Zach. Well, okay. Here's the thing. I'm not confident that Greg Berhalter cares about Zach Steffen and what happened in the FA Cup semi or anything that Zach Steffen does.
I don't need a keeper that looks like Ederson. Then they Scooby-Doo him, and you take the mask off, and it's Zach Steffen underneath. Like, I don't need that.
I don't. So I'm going to put that to the side. The fact that I'm not confident Berhalter will accurately assess Zach Steffen and bump him down.
I don't think
Solina
goes the Poland route. I think he stays with the American route, but he puts the pressure on Berhalter by taking these pictures with a number 1 jersey with a Polish crest on it.
I don't know. So it is right to say that Poland is putting the moves on Gaga, not the other way around. Okay, that is fair to say. Gaga didn't walk up to the
what
girl
percentage
in the
of
ball,
World Cups did
food
Poland
court.
make versus the U.S. national team? I mean,
what does that matter?
Poland has missed more in the last 30 years than
it's a harder road for them.
For sure. That's what I'm saying. If you want to go to World Cup, son, stick with America.
So our man Kuba was tweeting out some translations of the vlog that the Polish head coach did. Michniewicz, I'm not going to get that right. You guys help me out with that.
Good luck.
Saying, he says about Gaga, when we gave him the national team shirt with the number 1 on it, he showed me his arms and he had goosebumps. Jared, what does that mean?
I think you just had a TB test. I don't know.
Okay, so you don't think goosebumps mean anything?
I don't know. Maybe there was a stiff breeze. I don't know what gives a man goosebumps.
It's also right to say that, again, he can keep his options open. I don't have any problem with the way Berhalter's handling this. But just like every dual national player who has a choice between Mexico and the United States, there's some very strong cultural things tying him to Poland, and he probably does imagine himself playing for Poland.
For all I know, Gaga
day.
gets goosebumps when he hears Coldplay clocks on the radio. I don't know what that makes this guy get sentimental.
What does Gaga listen to? Man, I don't know.
I don't know that he's got a flat top, dude. Like, who has a flat top in 2022? Like, I don't know what that guy could be about. He could be anything. But I will say this: flat top is a very Eastern Bloc haircut. That's a Polish haircut.
It is a little bit behind the Iron Curtain haircut.
Have you seen those Klitschko dudes in Ukraine? They got the flat tops.
So he also said that the coach wants to call up Gaga for the next window to get him involved with the team, but final decision is his. Says Gaga told him, if I'm called up to both, I'll go to the Polish national team camp. That's pretty direct, dude. Now, secondhand. No, it's like saying,
is that his quote, or is that someone saying?
It's like the coach of the national team saying, "Your girl said she liked me. I'm telling you that your girl told me she likes me." Like, is that what this is? It's a little bit like. Is he trying to manifest this situation?
So what you're saying is that Gaga's playing that dramatic card.
I'm saying we got a love triangle between the United States, Poland, and Gaga Slonina. Apparently, I don't know.
Wait, are we the werewolf or the vampire?
Oh, is this a Twilight thing?
Yeah, I don't know their names, but are we? Which one are we?
Isn't the vampire the Batman? He's the Batman, right?
It's like Edward or something like that?
Edward and, the other one I don't remember his
name.
Wait,
I'm sure Morgan's got this one on lock. Edward and Jacob. Morgan on point with the Twilight stuff.
She got it. My wife just watched it.
So Morgan, tell us real quick in the chat, though. Are we Edward or are we Jacob? Which are we? And which one's the right one to be? I have no idea.
She ends up with Edward.
Okay, she don't know.
She didn't end up with Jacob. She ends up with Edward. We want to be
Edward. Is that a vampire?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Let's be the vampire. I don't want to be Harry.
Well, see, the thing Connor says the vampire was less of a man.
The werewolf was cut though. Remember how good his pecs looked? I remember that. I never saw the movie. I saw the commercials, and I was like,
suddenly I'm torn over werewolf or vampire. I don't know which one is the thing.
You know what though? Vampires are very Eastern Bloc as well. Transylvania, but I'm telling you, we may be the werewolf.
Now I'm spoiling Twilight for people. All right. You want to talk about a Welshman? You want to talk about a Welshman? When's the last time we talked about a Welshman on this show?
Actually, honestly? Pre-show, Tom Jones.
No, yeah, pre-show. We were talking about Welshman and Tom Jones came up.
Not just that. There was some karaoke Tom Jones
We were singing. We were singing. If you want to hear Jared DuBois and I sing, it's not unusual.
It was more
Or Jared-
Delilah.
Jared sing Delilah, which is messed up.
It's messed up, but that's my karaoke
Delilah
song. It's got
is
some great notes.
messed up.
It's got some great notes.
Yeah, if you want to hear that, go sign
It's
up
like
for
the stalker
Patreon.
national anthem.
We'll put the pre-show in the Patreon tonight. Gareth Bale to DC United. If you had all 28 MLS teams on
So how many there are?
little chits of paper, that's what they're called, right? Little chits of paper.
I don't give a shit.
You wrote them names on the little chits of paper, or you did like the UEFA Champions League and the balls and the World Cup draw. You get the bowl of balls, Jared. You know how to take a bowl
Shitting
of balls.
balls.
It's just like the bowl. Then you guys go into the parties and put your keys in. It's like that. It's like a bowl, and you put the balls in it. Had all 28 teams, and then you.
No one wants to pull DC United out of that bowl.
I don't know. You picked like a random collection of 50 European superstar players.
Okay.
Could you imagine? Like, is there a less likely combination? Is there a less likely
You
one?
mean like the random player and organization generator that's somewhere online, probably? Like, is
Yeah,
someone
right.
ever gonna? No, that's.
It feels like clickbait, right? It feels like clickbait. It does.
feels like clickbait, but then you realize that the dude has scored. He's played 5 games for Real Madrid this year. 5 games.
Yeah,
Like-
he's
And
he's
how
like-
old is Gareth Bale? Let me see.
He's
here.
like
Gareth
the
Bale
really
is-
he's like when you go full dad and you get into that middle age and you buy the super nice classic
32.
car
That's
with
the age.
and you put it in the garage and it never leaves. That's Gareth Bale, except he goes out and plays golf on a regular basis. Apparently, that's
Yeah,
That's what Gareth
MLS
Bale
is like
does.
a creepy guy in a van, except instead of going after teenagers, we look for 32-year-olds. Like that's our market, you know. Like who's a 32-year-old out there that's vulnerable?
the
And,
thing
like,
about this, and we haven't even addressed the fact that DC fired their coach Hernan Losada, and obviously we haven't talked San Jose and Matias Almeida either. But to me, and I don't doubt Stephen Goff.
Does
is
this
the one
hurt
who-
Losada leaving? Does this hurt this move? You think the potential of this happening?
No, probably makes it more likely because there's no chance Gareth Bale wanted to play Hernan Losada ball.
Does he
Not a
think? You
chance
think he
in
knew
hell.
what Losada ball looked like? Do you think he knew they were all on a weight restriction?
Maybe he would have found
Is there
out
a new kit
eventually.
sponsor, Weight Watchers?
Well, see, but so if that wasn't a deal breaker, then it means that Gareth Bale comes in and gets star treatment, which is probably not good for DC United in the whole.
Just give him player
but
manager.
Losada wasn't just about weight checks; he was also about heavy pressing. So I don't imagine not petting pressing. I don't know if Bale would have been in for the pressing. Jared is what I'm saying.
I do want to see what a Gressel, Taxi, and Bale front line looks like. That's pretty attractive to me. I would love to see a little bit of that kind of stuff going on because Gressel and Taxi look really good together.
Taxi,
this
Taxi
weekend.
scoring 2 on his debut was.
But here's the thing,
interesting.
it is odd as DC United, and then I was saying that, and Nick in the pre-show was reminding me that hey, that's where Wayne Rooney ended up. DC has the ability to pull someone in, to pull a name.
Well, they're
but it just
willing to
felt
write
like
a
it'd be
big
like
check.
a Miami move to me.
Well, it also feels to me like, oh, we fired our coach, and the fans are kind of not happy about it because it feels like we didn't really commit to him and we didn't give him the tools necessary. But hey, look at this shiny object. It's Gareth Bale coming in from Real Madrid, and we're going to pay him, I don't know, $8 million a year, whatever it costs to get him over here. And look, Gareth Bale is a next level athlete. He is incredible when you see him play. He just doesn't do it enough, right? He's just not.
I think he looks good when he plays. I never see him play. I saw him play for Wales and he scored. That was a good goal. I don't know.
He scored great goals for Real Madrid in the past. He's just not doing it now.
And even Tottenham last season.
We talk about this all the time. Like I'm not a fan of the MLS as retirement league thing, but I'm willing to make exceptions. Like you bring me Didier Drogba.
Okay,
let's
but
do
didn't
it.
the conversation change? Isn't this very similar to the Zlatan move to you? A guy
Sure.
that had some injuries, not featuring, like thinks that maybe there's a chance that he's done, but not quite sure. There's nothing to be said that Bale can't come here, have 2 good seasons, and go back to Europe. He's 32.
I think for me the issue is commitment because Zlatan was a flyer for the Galaxy because of his knee injury, not because he hadn't tried to score or cared about being at the top level of soccer anymore. He wanted to dominate the Premier League. Right, and he had a really good year before he tore his knee up and went to L.A. He had to rehab his image as a player by going to Los Angeles. And Bale has to do the same thing, but it's for different reasons. Because what I was about to say is that whatever you think about Zlatan, he was not going to come here and sit on his butt and not work. Because his reputation is, I do everything the best I can possibly be. I am the best, greatest in the world. Bale has this rep now of being a guy who golfs and plays soccer on the side. And I don't think.
But how much of that
that's
was
what you
contractual?
want.
Like the contract issues that they weren't going to play him, And I don't know, man. Like It's a hard place. There's a political part to this in the Bale
there's a
conversation.
huge. You're right. There's a hugely political part, and I'm not always. I definitely look at with a jaundiced eye at the sort of media reports about players' attitudes, because a lot of times those are made to sell papers and to get clicks, right? And we talked a lot about how Gareth Bale has been in Spain for like 6 years, and basically knows no Spanish, and I think that's probably true, right? If Gareth Bale goes to Spain and lives here for 6 years and doesn't learn a lick of Spanish, does it say anything about him?
I think it does,
Jared,
to be honest with you. I mean,
Duolingo is free. Right, that's what I'm saying. Duolingo is free. And he doesn't know a lick of Spanish? Or he's not trying at all? I mean, is that the guy you want?
It seems odd. Don't you want to order food at a restaurant?
It's Gareth Bale.
Wait, has he got enough money that he has a guy that just rolls with him, that does all his talking for him?
I'm sure he's got a translator who follows him around.
Oh,
Absolutely.
hell yeah, dude. Like Wes McKinney with a photographer.
Yeah. I mean, if you got the money to do it, right?
Okay, what are you going to put percentage on this? What percent chance this happens?
Well, I do think DC is desperate. I think they're trying to get some attention again after the Bruni thing ended before they wanted it to. I'll say it's 50-50.
As an American.
I'll say it's 50-50.
As an American.
Uh-huh.
Don't you want Gale playing in a really physical league like MLS leading up to the World Cup?
Hold on. Wait. Okay, you're just saying that maybe something happens. You're not actually.
I'm just saying he needs a taste of what America tastes like. Like, hey, this is how we do things over here.
Wow.
I'm not saying I'm just saying you do something. I'm just saying, like, hey, he needs to realize that he's going to be in for a hard time in that World Cup future if they make it.
That is interesting.
Maybe have a little more respect for the American game by the time it hits November.
I don't know if I like this. I think this is verging on.
You don't want him playing at a lower level too?
That I'm okay with. But again, he's not even playing. What does it matter?
That means he's fresh.
So wait, hold on.
He needs to be nursing a groin.
Okay, well, look, if your argument is we want Gareth Bale playing in 90% humidity in 95-degree weather in D.C. in the middle of the summer ahead of a World Cup in Qatar, which is not going to necessarily be...
Dude,
yes, let's do that. Yes.
Look at Gareth Bale.
Yes.
That dude's made of white chocolate. That dude would melt. Melt.
You're saying Welsh people don't have skin?
I'm not saying anything about the people of Wales or Welsh, whatever that country's called.
Melanin.
I'm just saying that dude is made of lilac soap.
We played this game ahead of the show, so I don't think we can play it now. I said name a Welshman. I think the people in the chat can name another I mean, I'm not soccer players, okay? Don't give me Welsh national team players.
Ryan Giggs.
That's cheating. You got to think about other people who are Welsh. Gareth Bale is Welsh. Christian Bale, also Welsh.
Oh, there is a YouTube couple I watched that's from they're Welsh.
Do they have a crazy accent that's hard to understand?
I just thought it was English. I can't tell the difference.
Yeah, well, there's a difference. Welsh people do sound different.
I do. Sure. I would enjoy. Okay, pick your poison on this then.
Okay, all right. We're just murdering pick your poison tonight. Yeah.
Gareth Bale comes to DC United.
Yeah.
Does better or poorer than Wayne Rooney?
So Rooney arrived right as they were opening up the stadium. Yeah, but they were just opening the stadium, so I'm trying to remember what time of year that was.
I think it was a summer move.
Yeah, it was a summer move. He came.
He did half a season and a full season. That was everything he did.
I think it was a summer move, but I also think he kind of like executed and like he got his deal. They ended the deal with Everton before the season ended, I think, to get him over. All right, I got the numbers. 20 games he did.
Okay.
12 goals.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good.
And not just that. That's just the numbers. You have to live up to the effort and lore that Wayne Rooney established in the short time he was here.
The thing about Gareth Bale is he could score 12 goals. I could see that happening for sure.
Do you see him running down to half field, running down a guy, and then
maybe because if he is committed, he's certainly capable of that kind of move. The way
I'll say this: what Wayne Rooney did was reform a team and establish some expectations on a Ben Olsen team that had been around for 12 years or some point. Like it felt like he put some motivation, some drive, and some expectations on the players around him. Yeah. I don't know that Gareth Bale has the ability to do the same thing.
No, probably not. I think he could score 12 goals. I don't know if it's likely. This is
Gareth Bale's ceiling is Zlatan, but his basement is Steven Gerrard.
More goals, less friends. That's not a bad shout. I don't know. I think that
The
he's
Luis
not,
Suarez story.
The surprising thing about, I mean, it probably shouldn't have been based on who Wayne Rooney always has been during his time at United and everything else. Wayne Rooney brought, as you said, he elevated the team, but he also seemed to be committed to helping the club in ways beyond just playing.
Agreed.
There's no chance Gareth Bale.
He came there as a captain.
No.
He came there as a
Yes.
captain. Gareth Bale
Right.
will have a captain's armband on, but not because he earned it.
No,
because that's the expectation of a player. He'll get a Beckham armband.
Right. I just think it's wild to consider spending that much money on a player when you're going to have an interim head coach for the rest of the season. And that's like against Chad Ashton.
Do you think they're really going to keep him? They're going to make a hire until afterwards?
Yeah, DC is DC, dude. They didn't change. They're still DC. I don't know. By the way, the league just got poorer for interesting coaching characters.
I hear Ben Olsen's available.
Because with Losada out, and he had like this young profe attitude, the weight checks and fitness checks, and just being kind of intense. Matias Almeida's gone too. And I'm sad about it. Not because I think he was a good coach for San Jose. He was not. But because it makes the league less interesting now.
Yeah, for sure. I absolutely agree with you. I think San Jose needed that change, though. Everybody there needed that change. But yeah, it is kind of a bummer, man, that you get a guy in there that's got a lot of style, flair, personality. I mean, who else like Chalice is like the kind of guy I have to go back to think about.
Chalice, wow.
I mean, how many coaches have you had come into the league that had that kind of feel to them? Not many. There's not that many. Maybe Lothar Osiander way back in the day had a little bit of that, but not the same
Nobody
thing.
remembers him but you. That's
not the same thing.
All right, so I'm going to just go through the names. And then these guys can be very good coaches, but not the kind of personalities that jump off the page, right? Or make. Are you
going through the stable of tier 2 MLS coaches available right now?
No, not the available coaches. The literal coaches in the league at the moment.
Oh, okay.
And because there's a range of people here. It's just that, okay. Some of them are interesting. Gonzalo Pineda, don't know enough. I don't think he's a fairly outgoing guy.
He's gotten a lot of player issues he has to navigate right now with injuries.
True. Josh Wolf, I love that dude for what he did for American soccer, his playing career and all that stuff. He's just a pretty standard American coach.
Austin's in second place in the West right now, dude.
Yeah, no, they're doing great.
Ridiculous.
He's doing great. Miguel Angel Ramirez is an interesting guy. He's got this brooding thing about him that I dig in Charlotte. As Edra Hendrickson is, he'll say stuff.
Dude,
he ripped his team after the Open Cup.
First of all, I love Easy, the former Galaxy player, and I've been asking for him to get a head coach spot for years. But that dude has the best resting bitch face of any coach. Anytime they cut to him, it's like there's a statue of him on the sideline.
Yeah, I would not want to mess with Ezra Hendrickson.
Oh, no. Dude, that glare?
There might not be a scarier coach in MLS than Ezra Hendrickson.
No, yeah, especially when he wears something with like a scarf or like a high necked thing, and you can't see his neck.
It's like a whole See, Pat Noonan, Robin Fraser, Caleb Porter.
Pat Noonan is the opposite of a guy who you would never be scared of in an alley.
Yeah, Caleb Porter. Do you think Detroit City set Caleb Porter on the path to getting fired in Columbus?
No.
They played to a goalless draw against Sporting Kansas City. They look trash.
Is any MLS coach ever job in jeopardy because of an Open Cup result?
Well, people in Columbus are pissed. If things have changed, then maybe that is something that would make a difference for his job.
The biggest issue happening there is Zelarayan's not playing. That's the biggest issue.
That's an issue.
And that's not Caleb Porter's fault.
Estevez, Nagamura, Phil Neville, just being English is a thing, I guess. You like Nagamura?
I like him as a person.
Job?
Yeah, okay. Houston, they're in the playoff position. Right now in the West, you literally have Portland, Seattle, Minnesota. Yeah. I mean, who else is not Nashville? All these teams are under the playoff line right now. It's ridiculous what's happening. RSL is above. I mean, congratulations to Pablo Mastroeni. That last year's playoff run, I guess it wasn't much of a fluke. These guys are actually doing okay right now in RSL.
They buy it. Dolo, I love Dolo, but Dolo comes off like an algebra teacher.
I'm disappointed in one thing in Dolo.
Oh, what's that?
Because I love some Steve Cherundolo. I love him in a way that most men don't understand.
This is not okay.
Very, very disappointed. I'm disappointed in the ball spot. There's a ball spot in the back of his head, and I'm like, damn it. Steve Cherundolo, for all of us handsome men that in the 90s and the 2000s peaked, I don't want to think that right back here I might be having that and I don't know about it.
Well,
you look and fly otherwise.
Okay.
She lies to me all the time.
I'm okay. There's some interesting characters here.
She told me this is 6 inches. I don't know.
It's not the same that now that Matias Almeida is gone. Okay. Any other business before we get out of here? Does Nikki Soup and Salad have any business?
We have
Is there
calls
a
on.
phone call? I forgot about Frank, and he's gone. Let's go to Wes from Idaho. My bad. Sorry, Frank. I know there's like a private chat where I'm supposed to be reading about all of this. Let's go to Wes. What's up, Wes?
Hey, guys. I think we were talking about U.S. men's national team earlier. So my quote-unquote hot take is I think Conrad's going to come back from injury and bump Jordan Morris off the World Cup
Jimmy?
team.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
No, Conrad. De La
Jimmy.
Fuente.
Jimmy.
Isn't-
Why is he
isn't
Jimmy?
he-
I don't understand.
No,
Jimmy Conrad.
Oh, Jimmy.
Well,
That's a
no,
terrible
no.
joke.
Conrad De
Take
La
that back.
Fuente. I think
That was
he's
on
gonna
you,
come
not
back
me.
from his industry. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Carlo De La Fuente is not making any friends in Marseille, and he's not getting a lot of play time. I'm not sure about that call. I mean, that position's so deep.
How many
Yeah,
wingers
that's
are you
fine, but
taking?
Jordan, dude, I have not been impressed with Jordan Morris since
But he's
come back
playing.
from injury. Have you?
He's playing though. That's the thing.
No, I mean
Like,
fair.
Carlo De La Fuente's
are
not
you
playing.
taking both Morris and Areola? Or you're taking one of those players or zero of those players.
I think
you're
one of
taking
those two makes it.
Tim Weah.
Well,
You're taking Reyna if he's available. I know he can be a
To
midfielder.
be
but
clear,
let's-
Jason, and for Wes on the phone as well, are you asking Wes, or are you asking Wes what Greg's going to do? Because those are two different things.
Oh, that's a fact.
At this point, man, I don't know. Wes, what do you?
I don't think Greg takes both. I think he takes one of the two.
He's going to take one.
I think Greg's going to take Areola no matter what. I think that's what Greg's going to do.
I think he
don't
likes the
the
press
coach
that he
should do,
brings.
but I think that's what Greg's going to do.
Yeah, he's an effort player.
Yeah.
He's a glue guy. They like it. They
I think
love
that's
Paul
what-
Areola in that team.
He's got hops.
Those guys,
Yeah.
for a little guy, he does. Those guys love him, and he bridges a gap. I mean, he bridges some culture stuff in that team. He's a solid dude. I think that's part of it. I mean,
I don't think Conrad De La I think what you want to know about Conrad De La Fuente, it can be told in the fact that he only featured in one window. Like, if Berhalter believed in him and thought he was going to help him in the World Cup, how come he didn't feature all through the World Cup cycle?
I think
The qualifying cycle.
injuries were a major
He wasn't
part of
injured
that.
the whole time, man. He lost. He fell out of favor in Marseille as well.
Yeah, that's true. No, he did. He did.
Yeah,
it's hard to know that.
fair.
I love the swagger.
He comes back from injury, just lights it up.
I feel like we need Miami represented as part of this. I know he moved to Spain as a kid, but he's Miami dude. We need some Miami in this
I think you're
team.
trying to say like we need more Phil Neville in our life. I was like, no.
No,
thank you.
I'm saying in the national team picture, we need some Miami. I don't know. It feels
Dude, I'm
right.
sorry. Whenever somebody's like, I need some more Miami, I just think of some dude with a button-up T-shirt and one gold chain walking around. Like, I'm all Miami. Like,
Sometimes when people say
Cubano.
Some people say I need more Miami. They're not
I can
ta-
get
they're
with
talking
more
about-
Florida. I can get with more Florida in my life because when you tell me we need more Florida in my life, I'm thinking Eddie Johnson, Josie Altidore, Breck Shea. I'm thinking like, if you want more Florida in your life, I can get with that, but I don't want to limit to just Miami.
Who's the best American player to ever come out of Florida?
Yeah,
Appreciate the call, Wes. I gotta let you go.
It's gotta be Josie.
Josie, born in Florida, raised in Jersey, or the other way around?
I thought he was
I
born
think
in
that's
Florida.
what it is. Born in Florida,
I thought he
raised
was
in
born in
Jersey.
Florida.
Yeah, that might be.
If
right.
you're talking about pure Florida, though, it's Eddie Johnson. Eddie Johnson's pretty pure Florida.
Eddie but I said the best player to come out of Florida. I didn't say the
Okay,
best
Josie
dude or the most interesting guy or the
But it'd be
EJ
interesting
legend.
conversation because you ask Josie, what do you claim? Does he claim Jersey or does he claim Florida? You can only claim one. What are you claiming?
Born
And then you
in
got to
Jersey,
rock what you
raised.
claim. Because you can't have
Hold
Josie
on,
in the New
hold
Jersey
on.
category.
Nicholas Murray says born in Jersey, raised in Florida. I think Josie's going to claim Florida.
Yeah, and plus, if
So,
you're having the
yeah.
best conversation in Jersey, that's a huge can of worms. There are so
we
many
can't-
good players.
There's
out
a
of
lot of
Jersey.
guys there. We don't have time for that. There's like 4 goalkeepers on that. Well, 2 of them for sure. 2 goalkeepers on that list before you even get to John Harkes.
I mean, obviously, it's Bruce
Tab
Arena.
Ramos.
But
Bruce was born in Brooklyn, I think, or
oh, is
Long
he?
Island.
My bad.
Yeah,
I thought
think it's in New
Red
York.
Bulls has conditioned me to think those two things are the same.
There. I'm gonna let you piss off the entire New York metropolitan area, and then we're gonna get out
I
of here.
didn't do it. Blame Red Bull.
All right. That's it. We're done. Again, patreon.com/The Best Soccer Show. We're definitely posting the pre-show tonight, so listen to us sing some Tom Jones. We usually have bonus shows up there as well. There's the Slack, which now has a dad joke channel. So
How am I
shout
not
out
in
to-
that?
I just
No one
put it in-
invited me.
Go look at community and click the
Okay.
link, and you'll find it.
Oh, it happened today?
Jeez.
Okay.
Nate asked me, should
By the
I
way,
do a dad joke
there's some
channel?
people doing Open Cup work in the Slack. We've got
Like, what do you
predictions in there. Is that you, Morgan?
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
do that? We got predictions for Open Cup in there. It's crazy.
There's all kinds of stuff going on over there. It is wild. People, you know how the internet has basically stopped posting their Wordle scores? Now we do that in the Slack. That's the only place people post their Wordle. It's like, oh, I got it in 3, and nobody says anything. We just keep posting the scores.
Oh, and there's like everyone's posting all the different Erdles that they do. Like it's
Did you know there's an MLS player one?
No.
There's an MLS player one. Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
This is going to be a little bit longer than I intended.
How
but let's
many
get
letters
Nikki-
are in Dima?
Let me get Nikki on here real quick because I think he's the one.
Sausage King of Chicago.
Nick, you're the one that posted this in the Slack, right? You're not. You
Sorry, I
turn your
should
microphone on.
unmute myself. Yes.
I think it's called Word Heel, like Luis Hill. I think that's what it, or Carlos Hill. I guess.
What do
I
you have
don't
to do?
know.
Do you have to like spell out a player's name, or is there a picture and you have to name them?
So there's another one for the NFL. I think the NBA. Basically, what this is like you guess a player, and it has 5 categories: position, team, height, weight, and age. And if you are within certain area, like if you're close, it'll give you like a green. Obviously, I don't know if you even can see that, Jared, but it's green. If you're not close, it's
Is there a
yellow,
colorblind
whatever.
mode? Because that's how I play Wordle.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a colorblind mode. So I don't. You may be out. Yeah, and I don't think it's historical. I think
And then
it's
it tells you how
current players
close you
only.
are by those criteria, like by position and stuff like that.
Yeah. So
What do they consider Breck Shea? What position do they consider him?
It's a good question. That's
Dude's played
fluidity.
everything but goalie.
His Breck is so fluid in many aspects of his life that it's hard to pin him down.
He's like he's a wild card in poker. He's all things. Like you just get a yes.
Should we play in the bonus show?
Oh, let's do it. I've never seen it.
Okay,
Yeah, let's play it.
Let's keep. We're
I can
gonna
share the
do a
screen
bonus.
and we
We'll
can
keep
play
it.
on the web browser.
Let's do
Okay.
it. Yeah, that's better than singing Tom Jones. Is it better? I'm not sure it's better.
Not
I
on
felt
you.
the Wurgle in my hand.
All right. Patreon.com/the best soccer show. What else? Ratings and reviews. I don't know. We haven't really been checking
We
up
don't
or
have any.
anything. Oh my God, people, you're killing us here.
I
Go
know.
give us a rating and a review, preferably 5 stars. Like that would be the nice thing to do to hook us up, to spread the word. We need that. We need that bump. We got the World Cup coming. The best soccer show is back. The United States is back in the World Cup. That's not a coincidence, people.
LA
Those things
Galaxy
go
is
together.
back.
Well, that does. Nobody cares about that. That's going to do it
Hey,
for
FC
us.
Cincinnati's back at the bottom of the East.
You guys are
But you
killing
guys are
me.
looking better, though. I hate to say it, but you guys really are looking better.
Thank you very much for listening. We'll talk to you on the bonus show and talk to you next Sunday night live. See you then. Bye.
Danger zone! Damn, dog. Inappropriate.
It was there. Oh, here we go. Saucing them up. Hit him. Wet.
The Sausage King of Chicago.
Oh, it's incredible!
Eddie, what have you done for me lately?
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yup. WNBC. WNBC.
Michael freaking Arasco Fiscal.
Jay Rodius.